What's up guys, Everything Apple Pro here, and I've been waiting to make this video for a very long time. This is the battle of the best, the two very best, fastest, biggest smartphones on the market today, and I could see why it would be such a tough choice to choose between them. That's why in this video I'm going to be doing a complete review of these devices, comparing their strong suits and their weak points to each other, and at the end letting you guys decide which device is the one better suited towards you. Now let's take a moment to admit something. The iPhone 6 Plus wouldn't exist today had it not been for the success of the Galaxy Note series. Samsung was laughed at. I mean, they defied all logic for phones. Steve Jobs himself at a keynote said nobody would buy a phone bigger than 3.5 inches. He just thought it was ridiculous. Well, look at what Samsung has accomplished now. Their latest and greatest Samsung Galaxy Note 4 is just overkill. I gotta say, for a phone, oh my goodness, this thing is a monster. And the iPhone 6 Plus fills a gap that the iPhone has had for a very long time, the need for a larger display. So without any further ado, let's get started. Picking up the iPhone 6 Plus, you might be a little confused. Whoa, the iPad mini got a little bit smaller. Well, it shares aesthetics with the iPad mini and it remains a very beautiful device. As you know, Apple just loves to simplify, and then simplify again. So they decided to get rid of all those jagged edges from the iPhone 5S and give the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus a rounded, smooth appearance. It is made out of one solid piece of aluminium that's been drilled out, all the components slapped inside, and then a screen on top. It's beautiful. It's a mixture of glass and aluminium, not a single plastic piece on the design. When the original iPhone came out, it was almost a status symbol, and the iPhone 6 Plus continues that. It definitely looks like a premium, expensive phone. Samsung definitely stepped up their game with the Samsung Galaxy Note 4. Now, while the Note 3 wasn't an unattractive device, its use of plastic was just a little too much. The whole phone was made entirely of plastic, whereas the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 now has this aluminium band going around the phone, and I gotta tell you, in person, it looks absolutely gorgeous. It's beveled, so it does have a nice shine to it on the very edge, just like the iPad minis. So it's a very beautiful device. The back has a textured plastic that has a leather texture to it, and it feels even better than that of the Note 3. This phone is definitely screaming quality. I mean, I love how it looks. I love how it feels. It's completely different than the iPhone 6 Plus, but it's not worse. It's just as good. And the Galaxy Note 4 feels perfect in your hand. The edges give you something to grip, and the back is very grippy. On the other hand, the iPhone 6 Plus is so slippery. I mean, the aluminium backing is just tempting to slip out of your hand. Without a case, I wouldn't recommend you use this device, or else you'll be dropping the phone a lot. Now, as far as design goes, this is a lot to do with personal preference, but I can't find a lot wrong with either one of them. They both feel great. You can handle them easily. However, as you guys know, one-handed use is a thing of the past with these devices. They do have their own software, enhancements for one-handed use, which I'll show you, but it's just not the same as a smaller device. Both of the designs are great. I mean, it's going to come down to personal preference for you guys. The iPhone 6 Plus is very rounded, whereas the Galaxy Note 4 is jagged and sharp. That doesn't mean either of them are better than each other. It's just a lot to do with personal preference. Size-wise, they're not too far off from each other. They're roughly the same size, whereas the iPhone 6 Plus is just a little bit taller, and Galaxy Note 4 just a little bit wider. The iPhone 6 Plus is about 1.5 millimeters thinner than that of the Note 4. However, that doesn't mean it's better. The Galaxy Note 4 is more comfortable to hold without a case because it just has a little bit more thickness to it, but you slap a case on the iPhone 6 Plus and you'll be fine. Now let's take a look at displays. Nestled in the iPhone 6 Plus is a 5.5-inch IPS display with a resolution of 1920 by 1080p and a pixel density of 401. Which is considerably higher than Apple's Retina standard, which is 326. Now, the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 just takes that even higher. It's at 5.7 inches, mammoth display, Super AMOLED, and it's a 2560 by 1440p display and a 515 pixel density. That's crazy. Now, that's crazy. That's a phone with a resolution that's higher than most TVs that are out nowadays. Anyways, I want to show you the differences in terms of color. Because these phones use a completely different technology, the colors do appear different. Now, this is full brightness. It's harder to tell the difference, but when I do dim the brightness a little bit on these devices, you'll notice that the colors begin to pop more on the Samsung Galaxy Note 4. Now, in terms of pure brightness, the iPhone 6 Plus has the upper hand. Its display has the capacity for a higher brightness, But at lower brightnesses, the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 just has a juicier touch to the photos. You can see that the color pops a little bit more. It's a little bit more vibrant. The Note 4's display was named quote unquote the best display of any smartphone on the market today, and I can't argue with that. Both the higher resolution and better reproduction of colors make the display a clear winner. Not to say the 6 doesn't have a good display, it's just the Note 4 is so much better in terms of resolution and colors. So yeah, these are both gorgeous massive displays, but how's one-handed use? Well, on the iPhone 6 Plus, double tap the Touch ID sensor and reachability will lower the screen halfway, and then you can use it. It's very limited though. If you open up the application, it just goes back to full screen, and then how am I supposed to type with this? So it's very limited on the iPhone 6 Plus. I love this on the Galaxy Note 4. Swipe from the edge of the screen to the middle and then swipe back, and it will enable a one-handed use depending on which hand you are using. This is miles better than what Apple is currently offering on the 6 Plus. However, these are two-handed devices. I mean, if you want to struggle and use it with one hand, the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 definitely gives you a better software enhancement to do that. And all around, the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 has a whole bunch of software enhancements that are definitely better than the iPhone 6 Plus, and I'll show you a couple more in a little bit. So what's powering these monsters? Well, the iPhone 6 Plus uses Apple's next generation A8 chip, rated at 1.4 gigahertz, 1 gigabyte of RAM. It is 64-bit though, and it has a built-in GPU and M8 Motion coprocessor. It's a very capable device, as I'll show you in the following Geekbench. And depending on where you're located, the Galaxy Note 4 has different internals, but mostly in America, it's going to have a 2.7 gigahertz quad core. Now worldwide, if you're international, it's going to have an 8 core, but that's a different story altogether. So 2.7 gigahertz, 3 gigabytes of RAM. I mean, holy crap, why do you even need that much? But you know, the more the merrier. It does have a separate Adreno 420 GPU, which by some is said to be a little older, and of course it does need more power to power a larger display as well, so it does make sense. Now what doesn't make sense is why Samsung would put a 64-bit chip inside and only limit it to 32-bit. That's going to be a major detriment in the future for the Galaxy Note 4. Let's go ahead and run a Geekbench to see how these actually compare in real life usage. So real quick, I just want to make sure I have nothing running in the background. I'm going to clear everything out on both devices, and let's go ahead and open up Geekbench and see where the actual results are. Now, in the past, iPhone has been very surprising in terms of optimization. I mean, the specs are impressive on paper, and how that translates to actual usage is a really different story. And begin. Now, I just want to address some people out there. I know specs aren't everything, but the Galaxy Note 4 is inherently a more powerful device. I just want you guys to analyze how you use your older phone and ask yourself, do you need all of that power? Because, you know, it's good to have, but if you never utilize it, what's the point of having all that power? So if you're a heavy gamer, you know, you use a lot of video applications on your device, then of course the extra power will come in handy. So I'm not leaning one way or the other. I'm just asking you guys to ask yourself if you're going to need all of that power. And here we go, the Galaxy Note 4 is finishing up, and here are the results. Well, as you guys can see, single core is better on the iPhone 6 Plus. There is that system optimization. Again, it has 3 billion transistors inside of the Apple A8 chip, so that's really impressive alone. But multi-core score, of course, goes to the Samsung Galaxy Note 4. It has 4 cores, 3291 versus 2915. Now, unless you're gaming or using very intense applications, the single core score is what matters using your device on a day-to-day basis. So let's talk cameras. Cameras are a very important aspect of any smartphone since it's going to be replacing any point and shoot. Anyways, on the iPhone 6 Plus, it has an 8 megapixel iSight camera, f2.2 aperture, and it has focus pixels, which is a technology taken straight from DSLRs, which ensures you get a faster and crisper autofocus. It also has True Tone Flash, which is dual LEDs of varying color temperatures, which basically ensure that you get the perfect color temperature in your pictures at night or whenever using flash. Note 4 features an impressive 16 megapixels and an f2.0 aperture, which is going to be better in low light. Now that just basically means that the picture is bigger. It doesn't mean it's better. I'll show you in a couple pictures afterward, and you guys can decide for yourself. It also has 4K recording at 30 frames per second, and the iPhone 6 Plus can do 240 frames per second slow motion. It's really impressive. Front-facing camera on the Galaxy Note 4 is considerably better. It has 3 times the pixel count. It has a lower aperture, better 1080p quality, and a cool 90-degree selfie mode. Now, if you take a close look at the colors, the Galaxy Note 4 is a little bit more vibrant. Some might say a little overexposed, but they both look great. Galaxy Note 4 is just a little bit better. And here's a test of the optical image stabilizer. On the 6 Plus, it's a little bit more steady, whereas on the Note 4, it's a little bit more jumpy as I'm walking. And just general video, the focus is great on both devices. The iPhone 6 Plus is said to have focus pixels, which are going to perform a little bit better, but I didn't really notice that big of a difference. You really can't go wrong with either one of these cameras. They're both great quality, and they reproduce colors well. The iPhone 6 Plus has a slow motion 240 frames per second mode though, and it's just stunning. I love what kind of footage you can shoot with it. And don't forget, the Note 4 can shoot at 4K 30 frames per second. Both devices have impressive battery life, but the Galaxy Note 4 has a really cool feature called Ultra Power Savings Mode, which conserves battery when it gets below a certain point, and fast charge. It'll recharge half of your battery life within 30 minutes, and that's really useful. And not to mention a user replaceable battery. If your battery dies, cool, just pop out another one and put one in. If your battery goes bad, just buy another one. I mean, they're less than $10. That's a really cool feature, so keep that in mind. The Samsung Galaxy Note 4 is very upgradable. Now, besides battery, you can also upgrade the micro SD. So storage-wise, it only comes in 32GB flavors, whereas the iPhone 6 Plus comes in 16, 64, and 128. $100 in between every memory option. Where Apple scalps you for every size difference, you can easily upgrade it for $26 for a 64GB chip, or a little around $100 for 128GB. That's a deal. Now, in terms of pricing, the iPhone 6 Plus starts at $749 for 16GB, and 16 gigs is kind of a ripoff because you're only left with usable about 11-12 gigabytes after the operating system. The price of the Note 4 varies depending on your carrier, and it starts at $699 at T-Mobile and goes up to $826 at AT&T, so average about $750. This is personally something I care about when buying a phone, is the speaker quality, and on the Galaxy Note 4, the higher it is, the more muffled it becomes, whereas on the iPhone 6 Plus, it has a very good loud range of tone. The only unfortunate thing about the iPhone 6 is the positioning of the speaker. Because it sits right there on the bottom of the device, it gets in your way when you actually play games, whereas on the Note 4, it's on the back, so it doesn't actually interrupt you when you hold it like this. So on the Note 4, speaker positioning is definitely better. So let's talk about unique features. Now, that's hard to find on the iPhone 6 Plus, I'll be honest. It's pretty much a device that's simple. Everything's there, everything works. And when a software update comes out, every device gets it. Now, there's no bloatware, whereas on the Galaxy, you have a whole bunch of pre-installed applications that I didn't ask for, and some of them I can't even remove, whereas, the few applications that do come with the 6 Plus, they're easily removable. Unique to the 6 Plus are focus pixels on the camera and that 240 frames per second video. You also get 20 LTE bands. That's more than any smartphone on the market today, and that means if you travel a lot, you're going to have LTE in places where the Note 4 wouldn't. Also, the speaker quality is a little bit better, and the cameras both protrude on both devices, so it's not like it's a con on either one of them, but also unparalleled support on the iPhone 6 Plus. I mean, Apple has stores everywhere. If you have a problem with your phone, they'll help you fix it or replace your iPhone on the spot. You don't have to send it in and wait, so that's another benefit of the 6 Plus. The iPhone 6 Plus does have a better fingerprint sensor. You just tap it and boom, you're in. Whereas on the Galaxy Note 4, you actually have to slide it in a perfect line and you can get many false positives. So it's definitely better on the iPhone 6 Plus. And I gotta give props to the Galaxy Note 4. It does a lot that the iPhone 6 Plus can't, namely multitasking, true multitasking. This is multi-window layout, so I'm just gonna drag out a couple applications, the internet and messaging, and I could be messaging on the bottom while I'm watching something through the YouTube application or browsing the net right there. It's a very useful multitasking feature. Along with that, if you want to use multitasking with one hand, you can do that too. With that one swipe trick I showed you on either hand. The one-handed use is actually so much better on the Galaxy Note 4. And let's not forget two of the biggest ones. The Samsung Galaxy Note 4 has a built-in heart rate sensor. While true, you can download applications from the App Store on the iPhone, doesn't come standard, and it has a stylus. So the S Pen, this thing is really useful for getting stuff done. It has a lot of unique features to it, which I'm not going to go through everything right now, but I just want to point out that the stylus is a really useful feature on the Galaxy Note 4. And for some people, they're going to use it more. Some people won't even use it at all. But depending on what you want, the Galaxy Note 4 stylus is really cool. It also has a higher resolution display, more raw power, and double the megapixel count of the iPhone 6 Plus. It also has an infrared sensor if you want to use it as a remote, which could be handy for TVs. And I know a lot of things do have infrared sensors, so it's not for everyone, but it could be useful to you. So guys, that just about wraps up my video. Now I want to make a couple points. So the iPhone user is generally a very simple experience. It's someone that doesn't want a lot of fuss when using their phone. Everything is there, everything works. It's a very stable operating system. Well, after iOS 8.1 came out anyways. As for the Android users, it's generally people that love control. You can customize almost every aspect of the device. Widgets, although Apple's playing catch up, Android is clearly the winner in terms of pure customization. So guys, that's just about it. From here, you decide which device is best for you based on everything I just presented. Of course, there's more to it than just hardware, and that's software, but oh man, some people just get so heated about Android versus iOS when really it just comes down to personal preference. Do you like simple or do you like customizability? So guys, I hope I helped you guys make that decision between the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 and the Apple iPhone 6 with this video. Check out my channel for more iPhone 6 Plus videos. There's a lot, and there's many more to come. So I hope you guys have a great day, guys. Peace.